Alright, what the fuck portion of the stick ham, I suppose. Stick ham portion of the what the fuck, I guess. Better way to put that. Not feeling too good. It's a rough night last night, stick ham. And that ended early because some hacker guy or some jackass, whatever, deleted everybody, kicked everybody out of the room one by one, just wiped us all out. And it's just, when you think about it, it's just so fucking rude that some person would think he has the right to censor all those people, at least censor the whole conversation anyway. Yeah, so that was kind of a bummer. But it was just the conversation was difficult. It was, I don't know what to say. I wasn't in a very good mood, I guess. I didn't think I was in a bad mood, but I didn't have much patience, that's for sure. And the conversation was just so, it all just gets so nitpicky. I'm just so sick of every time you say something, there's always going to be somebody who's going to make some stupid comment like, no, that bush isn't prickers. There's only a few prickers. I mean, that's that kind of, they can't just say, yes, it's a pricker bush. No, they got to argue about it. It's just, what the fuck? This goddamn asshole is spilling this water out of his pond or something. God damn it. So now I have to walk in a bunch of pricker bushes to get all that fucking water. Anyway, not a very good thing. Gotta trim these bastard bushes. That's why they grow so well, I guess. Because he's fucking watering them, essentially. Anyway, I mean, it didn't rain or anything. This is like, I don't know what kind of water it is, but I don't like it being in, this is a park. This ain't his property. Anyway. So, yeah, it was just a good, I mean, the night was, there was lots of conversation. I got pissed off a lot because it's just that conversation, just there's people that keep trying to steer it in stupid directions. And I don't know, there's only one, there's these basic arguments that have to be made. And we either resolve this shit or there's just nothing to argue about. And it almost comes down to, unfortunately, that you have to sort of first convince people, that reality is pretty damaged. That this reality, before they'll even contemplate the possibility that maybe nature is completely damaged. And, maybe there's something inherent in just the way we function, the world works, that's fucked. That you just can't fix. And this desire problem is, I would argue, one of those problems. That unless you create a virtual reality or some other kind of thing, you're not going to make this life game work. Because we're not, as I did say, designed to be satisfied. And it was kind of after I made that point that evolution doesn't design us. And I'm using the word evolution to design, like a force, a cold, cruel force designed us. Hundreds of years of circumstantial events. But the point is that, yes, the whole point of desire is to motivate, not to demotivate. It's not to be content. It's to keep pushing through the environment, to make your walk, to do your shit. And you're not going to do your shit if you're satisfied. And that's just the way it is. Yeah, and then Pyro came in the room. And, there's a context to everything. And, the conversation was getting to this kernel of truth thing, this idea that there are some fundamental truths about where we came from and what we are. It is evolution is consumption and reproduction. And, Pyro pops in and says, so what? It's good to consume stuff. I like popsicles. And so then we're just back to this argument again of how we balance the good against the bad. How many hard suffering moments is compensated by what positive. So again, we're back to the argument of how much of our addiction to life, our need to keep pursuing and keep reproducing and keep playing the game is based on actual intellectual understanding of value, and how much of it is a compulsion imposed by a crude and cruel nature. And Pyro won't have that conversation. So, I mean, I had to kick him out of the room because we weren't going to go anywhere. He was just doing his, and he even admitted in his video saying "fuck you" to me, basically admitted he was going to be in the room for 5 minutes. He wasn't intending to follow through with the conversation. He was just going to distract the conversation again. So when you're getting to the point, trying to isolate a perception of the life force as something not beautiful and wonderful, but something Frankenstein-esque, a monster built by nature, a little reproducing machine, that if anything else built it, like I say, if I built a machine that replicates itself, and then is capable of evolving through error code, and I just dumped it on the world, you would not build monuments to me. You would not say, "Great job, Gary." You would understand that that machine would not be a good thing. That would be capable of not only causing a great deal of harm, but if it self-evolved into something, it might create a vulnerability itself. It couldn't be compensated for. And so what are you going to do to fix any of that? There's no, you can't undo something like that once you do it. So, anyway, dog. How you doing? Hey, pup. Hi. So it wasn't a hideous night. It was just hard work and uncomfortable. And I guess, like I said, I was more uncomfortable than I realized. So my tolerance was low, and that made it difficult. The victims on the roller coaster of shit. So anyway, Pyro will get over it, blah blah blah, and maybe sometimes when he has more than 5 minutes, he'll want to engage in some kind of real conversation. And good luck with his pool tournament or whatever. Never really heard of a team sport pool, but whatever. So what else is there? Yeah, I'm having a tough morning. Really, stomach's unsettled. I'm uncomfortable. So, yeah, it's just, and then I guess I'll just go on about the nitpicky stuff. So I sort of made this point in the room that all this conversation is getting very frustrating. You can't force people to get to the root. You can't force the argument to stay focused where you are. You're talking apples and they'll start talking oranges. They'll keep trying to do that. They keep trying to say, well, while we're speaking of round fruit, they'll find some way to segue out of the fact that nature is not, that physics does not have any appreciation for the value of the properties, of the capacities that are being controlled and created through the application of its force, its rules in the universe. Boy, that's a complex way to say it. But anyway, it's hard to say any other way. That conversation needs, that focus needs to be that focus. It needs to be an apple focus. And as soon as you start oranging the question with crap like, well, so what? There's a little suffering. So what? Competition is fun. So what? Blah, 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 blah. Well, there's no point in having the original conversation if you're going to keep getting segued out of the importance of the acknowledgement of what is at the core. Because it's only understanding that core, I think, can you understand the nature of addiction and the nature of the futility of your own personal desire and the nature of the futility of your ego and living for your satisfaction, and how illogical that all is, and how the trap of that illogical lifestyle is just that, a trap. You really can't invent new humans that'll be invulnerable to that disease, that addiction to self-interest. You just can't do it.